Okay. A few seconds. They start showing up. We're starting. We're starting. We're just gonna wait for everybody to join in, and yeah, we'll get the show on the road. Let's go. Close this. Yo yo. All right. Just gonna wait for people to show up, and then we'll get the show on the road. Yo, how you doing? Look at that. We have 160 showing up, guys. That's how it's done. That's how it's done. Give a couple more seconds. How we doing, boys? How we doing? It's been a rough day, huh? It's a rough day. It's a rough day in the markets. Not easy. Is my mic okay, guys? I'm using a new headset. I'm not. Yeah. Yeah. You hear me double, huh? Okay. Is anybody else having the same issue? Just to make sure. I don't want to. All right. Cool. 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 All right, guys. All right. Let's get started. Yeah. So, if it's your first time here, welcome. This is where the magic happens. This is where the magic happens, and it's not been an easy day or an easy week, I should say. If you're new to the markets, if you're new to the group, you would know that for the past, aside from January, we've had a very very easy ride up, and to be quite honest with you, these type of pullbacks are expected. We've had an impressive rally. We have to look back to March of last year, and we're going to look at it in the chart right now, just to give you a little bit of perspective of just how much we've ran without facing any sort of inconsistencies or any sort of shakiness, right? We've had nothing but a straight up ride, and it's been quite free this entire time until I would say until January, where things, not even that they're tough, they tested your hands a bit, right? If you've been with us since the August days, it's been straight up, and there's been no real test of bag holders, right? So we're in a phase right now where you can consider it price discovery, right? It's there's a lot of I would say a lot of interest in this space right now, and it's it's not going to be that easy moving forward, right? I still think we're bullish. I'm not concerned about this at all. But we need to correct. We need to shake out late longers, and we need to get the liquidity, right? It's there's not many sellers, guys. There's not many sellers. If I'm being honest with you guys, there's not many sellers. There's more buyers than there are sellers. Um, and there's just not enough supply. Every day is more supply leaving the exchanges than they are coming back into the exchanges. So this is very very indicative, right, about what's happening here, despite what's happening to the price. And if I'm honest with you guys, you know, from going to 58K and just coming here and chilling in the 48K area, it's impressive. It's I'm in awe, right? Because just a year ago, we thought it was, I would say just we're about a week away from it being exactly a year, and I'll show you guys now on a bigger time frame. When and look at that, by the way, just to show you, put into perspective on a bigger time frame, because I know you new members, you really think that all the magic happens on 1 minute charts and 15-minute charts, and you can make a decent career off scalping, but the real money is made in the vision long term, right? And we're going to cover a lot of things, and I'm all over the place right now, but it's just to put into perspective. Let me give you an idea here of just how much we've accomplished in one single calendar year. I don't think you'll ever see this ever again. the bounce that we've had from the low. Anybody remembers this dreadful day knows exactly what I'm talking about. We're gonna zoom in just to give you some perspective. This was not even a year ago, guys. This faithful day where we just steadily climbed up and just broke down. This is an event I like to refer to as a black swan. It's just not something that happens every day. It was an anomaly. It was a COVID scare mixed with a market sell off, mixed with uncertain times, and just an abundance of shit all together at once. And it was definitely not a predictable event. I mean, in hindsight, we could have all said, "Oh, look at COVID today," and who wouldn't have shorted that? But the reality is, in March, we just didn't know what was going on, and nobody could have taken anything at face value. There was propaganda being spewed everywhere. There was videos of people dying in the streets in China. This caused a massive panic and scare, and this was the most brutal day I've ever seen. And I feel like everybody that enters the crypto space thinks, well, it can't get any worse than that. And I've been through 35% dumps, 40% dumps, but to drop from uh, to drop from 10K all the way down to about 3,900, that's like a 60%, like that's like a 55% drop. And I don't know about you, but that day I really thought Bitcoin was finished. I really did. I really did. Like I I I can't explain it, but like when you're witnessing this all happen, and like I said, this candle, and we're gonna look at this, right? This candle happened in a single day, 40% down in a single day. I don't think many people know what that means. It's the most um, I'm trying to find words to describe it. It was just such a sick to my stomach feeling to see that happen in a single day. It's something I hope I never see again. But all this to say, to go back onto topic, is this was just last year, March 12th. The day that really scared me for this space was March 12th, and it was the day where I like to think our world has changed forever. I like to think that our lives have changed forever ever since this big candle. And I'm not just saying that for the crypto community. I'm saying it just in general. Nothing was ever the same from this moment on. And all this to say, to go back on topic, is we climbed so impressively, and it's been no test whatsoever. And what I mean by this is, if you bought here, you never got tested again. If you bought here, you never got tested again. If you bought here, you never got tested again. And now, and I'm sorry to make a fucking mess over here, and excuse my language, but we're gonna get a bit vulgar. I'm not sorry. Um, we never got tested. This entire rally was just a free ride, and I mean free ride. Like this was like 10x long anywhere on this chart before 20K, you would have been most likely okay. That's something you don't see too often, right? To be in a cryptocurrency market and to see no test of hands this entire ride up. So when people are panicking up here, um, I see someone's buying here. So someone wants to get in. And like we're gonna zoom in a bit more just to put into perspective. But I mean, what does this remind you of? Guys, and we're looking at the Bitcoin 1 day chart on Coinbase for anybody that doesn't know what we're looking at. But like, what does this remind you of? It's kind of just doing that whole dollar cost average pattern, right? And I don't want to jump the gun too early and say, look, Tesla's buying here or Twitter's buying here, but we had a belief that a big company was buying in January, and we're pretty much seeing the same sort of sell-off. There's been no real retest of the highs for me to say that's it, tops in. Like for me to say tops in, I need to see like a really, really strong rejection here for me to be like, okay, I really do think that's over, right? I just this is not to me, this is not a retest of the highs or any sort of bearish retest. I think we're just continuing our correction pattern. And I've always been open to the fact that if we visit 40K again, I'm going to buy 40K. I mean, I have no reason to be bearish yet. I really don't, guys. I'm not going to let a couple of headlines and the dollar going up in value scare me yet. You know, we had a black swan last year. It doesn't mean it's going to happen every year. I have to go more with what's the more likely outcome, and I have to stick to my bias because we're not bearish right now. We're not. we're not in a macro bear trend, so I'm not looking for macro bear setups. I'm looking for macro bull setups. So the only way you get a macro bull setup is if you have a macro trend correction. Like I remember because this was only a month ago, and we were screaming at you guys like, why are you bearish here? You had to be bearish up here if you wanted to make any sort of significant profit from your idea. Most people are looking to cover their shorts back here and buy long so they can enjoy the ride. But we always seem to start saying, well, we should open shorts right here. But like, why? If you wanted to open a short, you could have opened it right here, but you didn't, right? Because you were bullish. But now you're bearish. To me, this doesn't make sense, right? And it's something that new members are gonna have to get out of their fucking heads, like starting today, starting right now. If anybody has a feeling to short after a 10% drop, a 20% drop, a 30% drop, you're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. When you're shorting a market that is this volatile, it's reach way above. And what I mean by this is, if you're gonna think of shorting a resistance, put your asks up here and cover quickly. And what I mean by this is, don't look to ride a short all the way down to 22K. The way a short works is you're covering quickly. You're buying back in quickly. When you're shorting a market, you want it's a very short term thing. Ironically enough, it's not meant to hold. If you're not in a macro bear market, there's no reason to hold shorts long term. We're in a bull market. So really, when you see corrections, it should just be in your eyes. It should be an opportunity to buy. And look, I'm gonna give you both scenarios. Even if we do reaccumulate the way I just said, and then we just so happen to reach here and then just fall over, well, now you can open a hedge because we pretty much have confirmation that we might be double topping here. And if you want to take precautions, then take precautions, but don't fucking hedge over here, guys. You can't do that. You can't hedge over here. The move's already been made. Now you're selling the bottom. People that were selling up here are covering their shorts, and to cover their shorts, that means they need to buy in. So they're buying while you're selling to them here. Do you see how that doesn't make sense? Do you see how people become bottom shorters and top longers? People are selling to you here, so you're buying. Then they cover their sells and buy back in here, but now you want to sell. Do you see how that doesn't make sense? Do you see how liquidity works in a market and why people are always baited into selling and buying? It's really, guys, it's very simple. You have to have levels. You got to have a rule, and you cannot pick biases left and right. You just can't. It's either you have a long-term bias or you don't at all. You can't be bullish one day on a one-day chart and then be bearish the next day. You have to wait for confirmations. It's the only way you can have a profitable strategy. We cannot predict every up and down of the market, and this is something you're going to learn. And if you're not going to learn it from me, you're going to learn it the hard way. And what's the hard way, guys? I'm pretty sure we all know what the hard lesson is in markets, when you don't listen to people that are telling you what to look out for. What happens when people go, no, this is what I do. This is how I trade. This is how I feel. Well, I'm gonna give you a news flash. Nobody gives a fuck. Nobody gives a fuck about how you feel. It's what the market. It's what the chart is telling you. It's what the price action is telling you. The hard way, and because I didn't answer the question, but the hard way is losing a significant amount of capital that you could have prevented from losing otherwise. It's very simple. You have to come in with a plan. You cannot just start flip flopping. You're gonna get chopped up. This is a chop here. Like if we go look in on the 15-minute chart, because I don't want to be stuck on the one day all day and just go on a rant, but look at this, guys. And I'm using an in silico indicator for guys that don't know. Like, they're walking it down right now. Right now there's no clear trade to take. If I'm macro bullish, this is not price action I want to see, or at least want to be trading. It's just I can't explain it, but like there's no need to be trading this right now. You should just be looking for the bottom. Now, wouldn't this be funny, guys? Like, because I'm seeing it already arrive here right now, right? Like, I could already see like some sort of fake out wick, and then we just go back up, and then I could see that. I could see people getting baited into selling right here because they think it's going to break down. It's It's crazy, guys. After a whole day of selling like this, why would you look to open shorts here? And for all we know, it could work out. But you're not doing it the right way. It's going to burn you sooner or later if you keep flip-flopping like this. It's about sticking to a bias and sticking to the trend, at least for the way that we trade. And guys, if I just suddenly cut off, it's because I'm reading the chat. I haven't read the chat since I started, so if you just give me a minute, I'm going to take a look and just see if there's any questions I'm missing. Damn, okay, I missed a lot. The stream is going to be for beginners. We're going to talk. We're going to talk mindset. We're going to talk, what to look out for, and we're going to talk why we don't always have to look for a trade. Your money doesn't always have to be at risk for you. It could be waiting on the side for a better opportunity. There's a lot of money to be made in being patient. The market's not going anywhere, guys. The market's in front of me. Look, I'm looking at it right now. It's not going anywhere. It didn't just disappear. It's right there. There's going to be another trade opportunity. The reality is, if we're bullish, are you looking to long this? No. We're going to look for stability. We're going to look to reclaim this line here. We're going to look to bounce off maybe even my demand box here, right? Because this yellow box here, for all who don't know, is a demand box, right? This is a box where I thought we could have bounced off of. And as you can see, we're kind of acting as well, not anymore, but all this to say. Sorry guys, my chart's a bit messy. You don't want to be trading this right now. It's still too volatile. Like, we can just take a look at the B volatility. It's up 40% today. It's ready to ramp up. When volatility is going up, we don't want to look for trades. We don't want to look for trades. We just do not look bottomed out yet. So it's something that you guys need to learn, is that if there's no trade, don't take the trade. You guys don't always have to be in a trade for the sake of being in a trade. And I know how it feels in the beginning. It's very, very fun. It's exhilarating. You feel like you could always be making money. But the reality is, sometimes you're better off just sitting on your hands. Go play a video game. Go talk to your parents. Go do something. Anything, but decide that you need to make a decision here right now. Because I'll tell you one thing. Like, when you feel like you need to to take a position, more often than not, it's going to be the wrong one. So learn to understand what patience is in this market. It's very important. And when we're not trading, it's because we see something we don't like. And we're traders. We're not we're not gurus. We're not crystal balls. Like, we don't know the future, but we have a plan and we have a strategy, and we're going to follow that. So when we're not looking for trades, it's because it coincides with our plan. It coincides with our strategy, and we're not going to break that for anybody, right? The goal is to make money. The goal is not to be right all the time. We're here to make money, and we're here to sit on the sidelines if we don't feel like there's any money to be made, and we're not going to feel guilty about it. We're not going to feel bad. There's so many things to do in this group that you could be doing when you're not making a trade. Like I said, guys, it takes one trade to make your money back. It takes one trade to make it all happen. You could lose 3 trades in a row, 4 trades in a row, and that one trade, if your ratio is good, you're profitable. And that's what I want to really work on with you guys, more than just, what can I enter today? It's like, no, it's not. You're looking at it the wrong way, and you're not going to be successful if this is your mentality. And I'm going to tell you now, because I don't bullshit. It's like, what we do is not easy. It's not easy, and it takes time. We put effort into it. We practice this every single fucking day, and we treat it with respect. We don't just come into it and disregard everything that people say and think we can do it and ignore all the rules. You guys join a group and expect millions overnight. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. Nobody promised you this. Nobody promised you this. We promised calls, we promised signals, we promised you education and all this, and you got that. But when there's no calls, there's no calls. It is what it is. And I'm speaking over an abundance of new members that really, really got under my skin, and I'm not afraid to say it because I don't like that attitude. Trading is about a mindset. It's more about a mindset and profitable strategy than it is about staring at charts. I'm going to be honest with you. It's about your mindset. If your mindset sucks, well, your trading sucks and you suck. You're going to suck at everything you do. if you cannot put yourself in a mindset that like you don't have to do anything today because your strategy doesn't permit you to, you're going to be very, very good. If you can get into a mindset that tells you you don't always have to be doing something to be making money, it's really, really learning patience. It's as simple as that, especially in the market that we're in right now. Like I'm looking at this now and it just looks untradeable. You don't want to be trading this, primarily just because I wasn't bearish to begin with. So if I wasn't bearish up here, I'm not going to risk my position trying to catch bearish moves here. I'm just going to wait for a bottom and buy so we can. That's my plan. My plan's not to be like, oh well, I should be getting in on this. Well, no, I'll just get in on this. I'll wait. I will wait. And it's like there's so many other things you could be doing. You could be looking at other setups. You could be looking at other ideas. You could be reading more about what you're investing into. There's a number of things you could be doing except for trading. You don't always have to be in a trade, and you're going to realize this. The best traders take less amount of trades. They just look for very, very, very favorable setups. So there's that. Just to make it very, very quick for you guys. And yeah, I recorded this, so this is going to be available for later. Just because I realize it's a bit late and we're getting members from all over the world and nobody's ever going to be able to make it at the same time. So this is the highest turnout I've ever had of 337 viewers, and that's awesome. You guys are awesome. So whoever's listening, thank you so much. I'm going to go over more. We're going to take a look at some alts. I just really, really wanted to get that out of the way for some members that, might have felt frustrated over the past 2 days. You joined during a time where the market is consolidating. There's not much movement. And if there is movement, it's on the side that we're not on. So we cannot advise or we cannot suggest anything because that's not what we're looking at. We don't provide trades to provide trades. We provide trades that work with what we're doing. It's not that we don't want to find trades. It's just we care about you guys and we care about the decisions some people will make. And if we don't feel it's safe, we're not gonna tell you to do that. We wouldn't put money in a place where we think we could lose it, right? The idea of this game, you're gonna be much better when you look at it from a defensive mind. You could listen to these guys on Twitter and they'll always give you bullish hopium and they're gonna say exactly what you want to hear, but they're the first ones to sell their position. The reality is this market is playing defense. So think of it as someone's trying to take your money away and you're trying to take theirs. Play defense. If you're not experienced, if you're not that offensive experienced player, you should be playing defense. You know, you should be looking to support the players that are that have been in the game for a long time, and that's what we do. We follow the trend. You know, where we're not these humongous whales with billions of dollars of liquidity, so we're gonna go with the flow. We're not gonna stand out like a sore thumb. So just reading the comments. So if I go silent, sorry. Uh, I'm gonna check the charts later. We're gonna do that. We're gonna skim over some, but I'm not gonna skim over all of them. It takes up too much time. But I'll go over some. Whew, okay. Yo, Carlos, my boy. And look, guys, I'll give you an example, right? There are so many things you could be doing in the group or just in general to improve your edge when a market is not doing necessarily what you want it to do. In this case, this market's making me very upset. And why is it making me upset? Is because it's just not straight up. And you know me, I'm bullish until I'm not, right? And right now, the market just looks like it's creating a massive reaccumulation pattern and tricking everybody into thinking that's it, it's all over. Remember March 12th? Remember March 12th? Oh, by the way, we're bullish again. Like this is all a game. It's all a game. We see Bitcoin leaving the exchange. We don't see it coming into the exchange. So here's the illusion. Price is going down, but Bitcoin's being bought in numbers that we've never seen before and being removed from exchanges, quote unquote, long term, as if we're never going to see them again. So tell yourself this when you're looking at the chart and all you see is red across the screen, right? Look at what's actually happening. You know, look at what's actually happening. Don't panic. Don't panic. And you know what? If you are panicking, because you bought at 52K on 20x leverage. Well, that's your own fucking fault, guys. I cannot explain this enough. Nobody in our group is going to advise you, or I don't like that word advice because we're not financial advisors. We're just suggesting. We're showing you trades that we're taking, and we're not telling you what to do. We're just showing you the trades we're taking, right? So this is very important. We're not advising anybody to do anything with their money. You know, we're telling you what we're buying. We're telling you when we're stopped out, and we're telling you when we're taking profit, right? It's just basic shit, you know. And if you're longing at 52K, well, we didn't tell you to do that. So you know, don't make everybody else panic because you took an oversized position, and now you're writing in the chat that everything sucks. You know, it's like it's nobody else's fault except your own. Like the second you start taking accountability and responsibility for your own actions, you're gonna realize you're gonna get much better. You know, it's yeah, it's just do not take leverage longs, and I've been saying it since this started. We shouldn't be looking to leverage here. There's no incentive to leverage. You only take a leverage when funding is telling you, hey, we'll pay you to open up a position here. We'll pay you every 8 hours to hold your funds. And in that case, I go, why not? I'm bullish on Bitcoin. I'm getting paid to do it. Why not? Better than just having my money sit there doing nothing, right? So the reality is that there's no excuse to be taking leverage longs here. Nobody ever told you to. So if you're stressed out about price being 4% down, you might be over leveraged. You might be making too much money. Making too much money. You might be using too much money, and that's an issue because it's not a race. It's not a race. Everybody has their own pace. Yeah, retro. You can see where my mind's at, right? It's been an insane 6 7 months. Ever since these new members joined, they haven't been around. They haven't been around, so they don't get it, right? And I don't blame them. I just you can't come in here barking like where are the calls and this one got stopped out. No, no. Nobody's 100% perfect in this world. Nobody at all. The best traders do not even have a 50% win rate. So if you're gonna go into every trade and get mad when you get stopped out, is because you're going in thinking that's it, this is the one, and after that, no, like guys, it's a series of trades over the course of a year and a profitable ratio that's gonna make you a better trader. You know, and like I said, it's not easy, but it's not impossible. Apply yourself and you'll do very well. Treat it like a joke, and you will get treated as a joke just the same. You're playing versus big players here, guys. They don't care. They'll take your money. They don't know who you are, and they don't want to know who you are. They're going to take your money. You know, so treat your money with respect. Play defense, and don't leave your legs wide open for big whales to just chop you around. It's just not a smart idea. Play defense. Follow the wave. So I'm gonna go back to reading, and then we'll do some chart scans. Just had to get that off my chest because today was super frustrating. You know, I get it. People, new members joined in the middle of a drop and a correction. Like, what do you want us to do? What do you want us to do? You know. So Tommy, honestly, man, you're playing with $100, right? So I don't know how you're getting liquidated, man. There's not been enough of a drop on any coin for anybody to get liquidated unless they're using way more money than they're actually comfortable losing. If you have $100 and you're using a 10x leverage full size, that's 10 times the amount of money you're using. And if you're new to futures, if you're new to something, why would you do something like that? You know, guys, like think about it. Like, why would you use an accelerant if you don't know what you're doing? Think of the logic here for a second. You guys go, oh well, you can use money to make use money you don't have to make money much faster. But if you don't know what you're doing, have you guys ever considered, I don't know, the possibility that you might lose? Because that's what 96% of traders go through. Oh, wow, that's really strange. Okay. Can you guys hear me? Oh man, I might have not recharged my my headset, huh? Damn, dude. I just got these things, and yeah, they said 29 hours of battery life. Logitech's a bunch of scammers, bro. No, but look, before it cuts out again, I completely lost my train of thought. But all this to say, um, you know, if you guys don't know what you're doing with leverage, don't use amounts of money that you're not comfortable with losing. It's going to it's going to accelerate your losses. You know, it's going to accelerate your losses just as much as it accelerates an experienced trader's portfolio. You know, for now, if you're using $100, altcoins are going parabolic. They're doing 20, 30% on good days. Why do you need 10x leverage? It's just being greedy at this point. You know, the market doesn't reward super greedy people. You're going to learn this the hard way. And the hard way is that when you get greedy, you're going to lose it all. You know, you're going to lose it all. So please, guys, be cautious. If you're gonna use, you know, let's just take a look, right? Like, oh my God. Let me just take a look here. See what I can find. Wow. Okay. Let's take a look. Oh man, sometimes what we draw on these charts, huh? Crazy. Yeah, man. Look, a lot of ideas didn't play out the way they should. Like, look at all these head and shoulders is showing up here. I mean, I'll be honest, guys. On alts, they look like shit. They look like shit. I don't care what anybody tells me. I'm not an alt guy, and you guys know this. I'm not too crazy about alts, but they've ran hard. Like, you know, if Bitcoin can't recover here, these alts won't. I don't find personally. I don't think so. But learned the hard way not to use 75x leverage. Thank God I only had $20 when I started. I mean, look, $20 is something I know most people can recover from, but there are people who genuinely believe using 75x because some guy in a group told them to do so is a safe bet. Are you crazy? Like, guys, you know, you have a head. You have to use it. You know, you're gonna learn the hard way if you don't. You know, so just to say it that way. You know, but damn, okay, I should really reset my charts here. They look kind of gross. Let's go. Let's go on a smaller time frame until it fits my bias. Yeah. Hey guys, look at this. You can't trade this. You're gonna get destroyed. You're gonna get destroyed. This is not markets you trade. You know. I mean, like I said, we've been bullish for so long, so these downtrends are caught offside. We were not expecting them, and you know we're just gonna play defense now, and we're just gonna look for a bottom and then buy the bottom, right? Because there's a better risk to reward on this. You know, the move that the short has already happened. You know, the short has already happened. There's no use trying to catch it now. The value's in catching the bottom, right? So let me just read some comments. I'm gonna go through some charts. We're gonna see what else we could talk about. Um, I'll go over my indicators in a second. I'm not really a Bitcoin maxi. I don't believe it's the only solution that has any merit. I think it's the best one in the sense that it's the most trusted one and it's the one that people actually put their money into. But I'm not a Bitcoin maxi. Bitcoin maxis believe that like everything else is pure toxic and just manipulated ways to get more Bitcoin from you and yeah, they believe it's actually like the best peer-to-peer transaction system and it's to me that's over the top. I think there's a lot of impressive innovation in this space and every industry is going to find its path. I still think Bitcoin's going to be like that reserve that everybody's going to look to and the one that they trust, but I don't think it's the only one that will survive. I think a lot of them will fail, but you're going to have a lot that will survive. And no, Bitcoin's not trash. It's the reason why you're here today. Like you can't like you know like you can't say that. The reason why all this space is successful is because of Bitcoin. So if you're gonna hate on Bitcoin, you can't say that either. You know. You know, it's you can't say that. Bitcoin has all the market cap, it has all the interest. Everything else is just speculative up until this point. So we got to have respect for Bitcoin, right? You have to have respect for the kingpin, and that's just being honest, right? You can't disregard something like this. It still outperformed and did a 500%. So man, everything is down today. Damn. So I'm gonna start with one that I actually like looking at, and it's not doing too well again. Like, look, this is like parabolic downwards. It's kind of gross. I'm not too impressed. You see, like this looks dirty. Like when I see this full on McDonald's, like that's pretty indicative of where this is going. Like this looks a lot more bearish long term. Like, well, long term. This looks like it's a lot more bearish if it cannot recover anytime soon. Like like this I could picture going back up like that and then just coming back down. Like I could definitely see that because it's altcoins, right? And I don't feel like they hold that level of security enough yet. Bitcoin Cash. I mean, man, dude, if people are naive to follow for that, then I guess they deserve it, right? So yeah, I'll read comments from the chat instead. That's a good idea. Instead of just instead of just replying to them. The hype for ADA. I'll be honest with you guys. I don't know. I don't know. I want to say it's the team because I know they have a good team, but I'll be honest with you guys. I just trade shit, right? I'm not too invested into the altcoin space in the sense that I believe in a lot of these projects. I think, like I said, I think a lot of them have so much more to prove than what they've actually proven that I can't see myself taking them seriously until they actually start making movements like till someone tells you they put it on their balance sheet, like like Tesla, for example, actually bought BTC. They didn't put it on their balance sheet, but they bought BTC. They own it. So to me, that's enough to take this seriously, and it's enough for a lot of people to take seriously. And if I'm honest here, guys, like I have a real funny feeling this is just gonna go like this. If I'm honest, but like I don't know for sure. I'm just saying like the way it's looking is just yeah. But look, let me go back and take a look at some. XRP, the scams of all scams. Like, imagine falling for this, guys. You fall for this, and then it just instantly pulls back. Like, how can you trade this, guys? How can you trade this and not have second doubts about anything you bought in? Like, XRP is the worst. It's the worst. If you're watching and you're an XRP shiller, it's the worst. I don't care what anybody tells me. Everything went up in ridiculous amounts. This thing is still stuck at 47 cents. I don't know what that should tell you, but I'm just gonna move on. I'm just gonna move on because it's ridiculous. Dot, I mean, I'm bullish on Dot. I'm bullish on Dot. Let's take a look. Yeah, I'm bullish on Dot. I mean, oof, man, it looks brutal. Whew. I'll be honest, I haven't taken a look at a lot of these alts in quite a while. It actually looks pretty gross. I mean, it's too early to tell, right? But it's just it looks very McDonald's. It looks very McDonald's. It looks pretty gross. I mean, guys, when we say it looks gross, I mean look at the rally that it's had. Like this is impressive, guys. Like let's just take a look, guys. Like 800%. Like the rally. It happened, man. Like can't say these things didn't perform. They performed all right. Like it's completely acceptable that this thing will just go like this now. Probably come back down to touch this line, right? And then maybe continue back up. I don't know, but it definitely looks like it's coming back down to this MA. Yeah, it definitely does. It wouldn't surprise me, right, if we just do a full McDonald's. I mean, if you're asking me a good entry point into Cardano, I could have told you this was days ago. Like look at the price action now. It's quite weird. I'll be honest. These wicks are very very strange to me. This looks really strange. Look how perfect that looks. Like guys, like I don't know, man. This is exactly the same price. What? You see, when I see this, it's sketchy, man. Like I don't know. I look if you want to bid Cardano, it's going to be this trend line here. Just trend line. This moving average. Sorry, got my words mixed up. Because if I'm honest, every time we really touch the MA, we just kind of bounce off it. So we'll just keep applying this method until it's proven wrong, right? So you could probably catch a trade off this MA. It's probably going to be in confluence with this. Maybe catch a bounce. That would be your best probably entry short term. It's a heuristic indicator from in silico. So just gonna read some comments. And Ray, it's not that I'm not an alt guy. It's just I know when to take my money out, right? And just I know when to take my money out. I'm not attached to these things. If I see that I'm 500% up and we just corrected 15%, well, I'm taking my money out. Yeah, I don't take any chances anymore. I've been around since late 2016. So 2018, I made that fatal mistake of holding Litecoin from what was it, like 80 to $100, all the way up to 300, all the way back down to below my entry and selling. Like I've been there before, so I've seen this before, and I'm not gonna let it happen again, right? You learn. You have to learn the hard way, and holding your bags after you make a 500% gain sometimes, man, it's just irrational to think like this, right? So the indicators are right here. They're in silico. They're paid. They're not free. I like using them, but I barely use them to trade. I just use them to see market direction. I really use my pivot points and my rectangles here, which are my supply demand zones. Let's see if I can find you an example of one that worked very well for us. Guys, every chart looks fucking horrendous. Like, damn. Okay. Okay. Yo, can anybody explain to me what's going on with Teta here? Like, what's going on? What the F? It's actually doing quite well. I'm not gonna lie to you. Uh, comp. Looking for a nice supply demand zone that I could reference. Everything looks terrible. Like, ugh, look at that. You see, this looks really like double toppy. Like Solana just looks so double toppy, short term at least. Oh my god, GRT. I'm looking for supply demand zones. Just let's take a look at Doge. You said it's a scalp machine. I want to see. Ugh, this looks so gross. Yikes. I mean, man, this is the weirdest looking chart I think I've ever seen in my life. Can we all agree on this? Like, what is this? What am I looking at? I don't know. I really don't know what I'm staring at. Like it's actually preposterous. This. Let me check on a smaller time frame. Ugh. I mean, yeah. I mean, that's a pretty gross chart pattern. So can I know who's actually here from the group? I'm just curious. I want to know. Okay. Lots of people from the group. Damn, okay, holy shit. Damn, dude. Brian, I'm taking as many as I can. There's quite a bit, and if I want to answer everything thoughtfully and with like actual care, it's gonna be really hard to answer everything. So I just wanted to make sure that everybody, yeah, it takes time, man. It's Do I think the Asians are going to Asian tonight? If anything, the dump session has been happening during the American session, which is very, very, very strange. But if anything, it's Asia that's been pumping, man. It's not even Asia that's been dumping for quite a bit. So let's take a look, guys. Let's take a look. Besides just going and charting random shit, I mean, guys, it's right now is not the time to be taking trades. So looking at charts, I'm just gonna tell you always the same thing. Oh man, like it's too soon. It's too soon. The move's been made. Now you have to wait. You have to wait for an opportunity. And this opportunity is going to happen when volatility dies down, not when it's cranking up, right? Volatility is cranking up for a move, right? So we have to respect that. If you're not in a position from way below or from way above, we don't want to be caught in the middle of this, right? So someone asked me to explain what my watch list looks like, and I'm going to explain this really quickly because it just popped up into my head. So I have my section called actual liquid assets, which is like, the major instruments in this market that won't get nuked. Um, and I say that it's funny because Ethereum went to $700 on Kraken, but these are the ones that I trust playing big sizes in, just because there's a lot of liquidity involved. So it's very, very small. There's not many markets in crypto that have this, I guess, merit to them. Then I have something called the wall hack, which is just like things I use for like a little bit of an edge to see if I could find maybe some confluence with what I'm looking at, or to see if there's any sort of one little tick above that I can use to my advantage. So it's the B volume, B vol, which is pretty much Bitcoin's volatility, 24-hour volatility index. I got this idea from Michele. The guy's a wizard when it comes to studying volatility, and I actually took this from him, and I find it helps a lot. So pretty much it just tells you when big moves of volatility are coming, when volatility should be dying down, and if you pay attention to this and you look at the chart, it's going to tell you a big story, right? So I use this a lot. I use ETH BTC to tell when maybe we might be having an alt season, and the way it's looking is that if we kind of round out here, well, we have an alt season on our hands again, so that's very interesting. I use the total market cap just to get a feel for, once again, the entire market that we're in. I think it's very important to understand how that's reacting as well. And then last but not least, I definitely use the Bitcoin dominance. I think it's very important as well. So yeah, this is my wall hack section, and then this is what I call the Binance get rich quick schemes. And what I mean by this is these are all the futures pairings, pretty much. If you want to trade contracts, this is the real pairings, so the ones that you see on Binance on the futures section. So the price and data is accurate to what instrument you're trading, and this is what I look at, right? So I have this, then I have my legacies, my legacy market, just to pay attention. And as you can see, we're getting absolutely decimated because of it. But yeah, it's good to have all this stuff, right? So, as you get more involved in markets, you're going to become obsessed with markets. And when you become obsessed with markets, it doesn't matter what you're trading anymore. It just matters. The only thing that matters is the markets, right? So you're going to see the more and more and more you apply yourself to this, the more and more obsessed you become. Another alpha trick that I use is to check pretty much the futures markets. I find these are really, really helpful. I use Bybit, not Bybit, but bybt.com to get my indications over here, and it'll tell you pretty much the open interest. Are they short? Are they long? Pretty much on every exchange. And as you can see, every exchange is 51% of people are, well, 51%, 51, more or less 50 to 51% of funds are short right now, and they're expecting some sort of drop, right? And below here is where I'll take a look at funding. This is very important. Again, if you're new to this, teaching you what funding is and the significance of it is going to take some time. It's like you're in a new market, you're in a new industry, right? You're in a new playing field, and these are very, very not advanced, but if you're completely new to the space, these are very advanced techniques, and it's going to take you some time before you get to, you can look at them for sure, but to understand what they mean and to understand the significance behind them. It's going to take you some time, and stick with us, and you'll see the reason why these things are so important down the line. So, T crypto, shall you leave your job? Absolutely not. Having a job right now is quite literally a privilege. A lot of people don't have one right now. So if you can solidify your income with a regular 9 to 5 um, in a time like this, please don't quit your job. Um, I would be very, very cautious in the times that we're in. I would only consider quitting a job when you feel like you can make a living off trading on your own, not through other people's ideas, right? Having a year's worth of saving easily in the bank, because you're going to hit bumps in the road trading. It's only part of the job. Half the time, being a trader is either feeling like you're on top of the world or feeling like you're so useless and that everything sucks and that maybe you should just quit. These are the two levels of trading. I'm a god, and wow, I suck at trading. Why is it that everybody's against me? These are the two levels that you're always going to be at. There's no in between. So learn to take advantage of when you're hot and learn to stay the fuck out of markets when you're cold. This is the best advice I can give you. Understand yourself, know yourself, and know when you're hot and know when you're cold. A lot of this market, besides patience, beside understanding what a profitable risk ratio is, it's understanding yourself and knowing when you have that confidence, knowing when you have that conviction. It plays a big role. It sounds stupid, but it plays a huge role. So please keep this in mind. Um, Let me get back into my crypto talk and just answer some comments. So the 2017 bull run, and I'm answering Sugar Freak's question here. Um, it's not that you're having FUD. I think you're just misunderstanding how long the 2016 bull run actually lasted. The bull run that led up to 2017 was happening way before it hit 20K. That bull run started at $100. It didn't start at 1,000. Let's go back. Let's go take a look. Let's go take a look down memory lane. Back to the time where I was a noob. I was a noob. I was just getting into derivatives platforms. It was all new to me. Whoa. All right, let's take a look. 2017. Damn, dude. Actually, we're gonna go on a. Wow, the good old days, boys. So this is 2017, right? Look at this. Kind of looks familiar. Anyways, um, your bull run, guys, started really like right here. I mean, if we zoom in, we can kind of see where we're at in our current timeline, right? I mean, hint, hint. We're right here, by the way. Just letting you know. Um, Let me show you where this bull run actually started, because it wasn't short at all. It was actually quite long. It was like almost like a 3-year bull market, 2.5-year bull market, I would say. Yeah, this was the start of your new bull market right after 2015. So yeah, around a 2.5-year bull market, dude. It started in the $100. It started here. Your rally started right here, and the rest was history. It's this is an uptrend. There was no bearish price action. The only time you had a bear market was after this entire move, and then we broke macro structure, and the play became short the top, short the top, short the top, until we bottomed out. We hit a floor, and we continued to rally. But this is obviously an echo bubble, followed by a black swan. Like this was pure manipulation. I don't care what anybody tells me. This was a derivatives led rally followed by a black swan COVID event. Everything that happened here is pure manipulation. Pure manipulation. This right here was the cause of massive retail FOMO in a space that was so premature it couldn't handle the amount of inflow that it was receiving. Exchanges weren't up to date, servers weren't up to date, networks were so backed up, there were not enough miners. It was actually chaos. I remember this. It took 3 days for me to transfer BTC. So to answer your question, this bull run didn't just start at $1,000. It started in the hundreds, and it was about a 2.5 years. So let's go to where we are now. Look how premature this is. If we zoom out and if we look back, this is 20K now. It looks like a fucking baby bump, dude. Look at that. Everything else that we just zoomed into looks so irrelevant. And it's like, now we look at this and it's like, oh wow, look at that. It's like, guys, this can go much higher, like much higher. I think a lot of people underestimate how undervalued and how scarce BTC is. So when you put into perspective, we're still in our first cycle. So I hope that makes it more clear, right? Like the bull run started more late 2015, early 2016, early 2016, early 2016. We'll say that. That's when it started. And what was the return on that? $100 to 20K, guys. That's insane. That's like that is a lot. That is a lot. It's like in the 10,000% more than that. So I'm just reading comments, sorry guys. I want to try and answer everybody. It's just I go on tangents, guys. You guys got to stop me. It's really bad. Um, are we going to trade and make money when the bull run is over? Yeah, absolutely, guys. When I have confirmation of a top, we play the shorts. I'm a trader. I make money. You know, when we have a macro top, then the game is to flip your chart. Now we look for the tops to sell. Right? We want to distribute. We want to play with the game of the whales. Right now, the whales are trying to buy as much BTC from you as possible, and they're going to do this by shaking you out on 20% drops in a single day, because they need you to make that decision today, not after 20 days of consolidation where people start to get confidence again. The way whales fill up in a bull market is they crash price so aggressively in a single day, so they can have you feeling emotional and make your decision on the spot, so you can regret it the next day and buy back higher from them. This is what they do. So if they're gonna dump aggressively like this and not bait us all the way back to 56K just to drop it again, that's how I know we're not in a bear market. That's how I know bears don't actually have control. It's just people that really, really, really want to buy much, much more. It changes, guys. There's sentiment here that you have to pay attention to. Pay attention to the outflow. It's like, hey, look, if Bitcoin's so bearish, why is a bunch of people just buying BTC and throwing it off the exchange? If it was bearish, wouldn't everybody be looking to sell them? No, instead it's retail paying attention to fugazi signs and selling to these big boys. And then this shit gets taken off and you'll never see it again, because they know in 3-4 years where this is going to be. They don't care about what the price is now. They really don't care. So keep that in mind, guys, when you're being bearish on the most bullish asset of all time. Remember that. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. You're much better being bearish after you have confirmation. Because at least you can blame it on your technicals. You could be like, look, this is what my technicals told me. I'm just following a plan here. But to be that guy that, Tony Top, it just doesn't make sense. Don't try to be the Tony Top. It's like, just buy the bottom. Like, I don't know. Spiky. I'm gonna say spiky because I don't like the way of saying like the other word. Like it sounds wrong. So I'm gonna call you Spiky 3. If you're starting out with little capital, I suggest you do as much as you can to learn as much as possible, and take trades that you feel are safe. The ones that you feel you can understand why they're being taken. You know. Thankfully, it's a small amount, so it's not something you can't recover from. But I know for people in a lot of areas, like Venezuela, for example, $100 is a big deal to people, man. And if it's money that you cannot lose, please do not throw it into a speculative market. It's the only thing I will advise you to do, is to not throw money that you cannot lose into this market. It's cliche, it sucks to hear, and it sounds like I'm just being that typical guy, but it's the truth. Do not come into this market where I've seen it myself. the thing I trust the most dropped 55% in a single day. All I could do. You see it just turned off again. Um, yeah, I would not advise you putting anything into a speculative market where you're afraid of losing it. I think it's very very irresponsible. So if you're playing with a small amount just because you want to speculate and have some fun, I think you should really really focus on trades that you can see happening, or you could see why they're being taken, and learn from that. So if you're playing with a small amount, just remember it's about compounding your winnings. And if you compound long enough, after 1 year it's a joke. Like the following year you're compounding what you just compounded. It's a game of compounding and patience, right? I've seen people go from $100 to 100K in 3 months and lose it in a single day. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. I've seen people make fortunes and I've seen them lose them like degenerates. I've seen people that have made 150K, 300K. They've never seen this money in their life and they're playing with it so recklessly, so carelessly, and they lose it in a single day. And then they can't look at themselves anymore. Don't be this guy. You know, learn to take it slowly, learn the value of compounding, and you realize it's not a rush. It's not a race. There's a trade up, there's a trade down, and I'm going to take one. So don't feel like it's running away from you. Don't feel like your capital is too small to make any sort of significance. It's everybody has their story. My story is different than John's. John's story is different than Michele's. Eli's story is different than fucking Maddox. Like everybody has a different story here, but we all follow a strategy and we discipline. We discipline. My God, man, my English is broken today. We're all disciplined when we follow our strategy, and that's what's rewarding us. It's not our emotions. It's not our intuition. It's our strategy, right? So, Ed Meadows, am I trading full time now? I have the option to. I have the option to trade full time, but the answer is no. I work an account executive job for business to business affairs when it comes to coffee services for offices, and this experience or this occupation has allowed me to network with really really high up figures, and I like the idea of knowing how a deal is closed, and I like the idea of creating a presentation, and I like the idea of proposing something. It's good experience to have, and I find if I'm staring at a screen all day just studying one thing, I'm not being dynamic enough. I'm not learning enough, and I'll be honest, trading doesn't take up too much of my time, at least not anymore. So no, I'm really happy with the work I do, and I feel like if I just traded all day, it would ruin my buzz, right? It would ruin my edge, and I feel like trading is all about a mindset and I'm a superstitious person. If I feel like I change things too much, I'm gonna start blaming the change. So personally, to me, I have a job, but it's not necessary. It's one of those things where I can just be like, well, I don't feel like doing this anymore, so I'm out. But no, to answer your question, I still have a job, and it's more for the networking experience. I was in the music industry for quite a long time, and I realized very early on that it's all about who you know, and it's a very very important tool. No matter who you are in life, you could be the biggest millionaire. If you don't know anybody, you're just another millionaire. But if you're that millionaire who knows this CEO and knows this CFO, this is very, very important tools to have in your repertoire. So, yeah, there's definitely experience in closing a deal and networking with people that make decisions. So, I hope that answers your question. There's no shame in having a job at all. Um, can you, Horsey? Yes, absolutely. You can hold shorts for sure. But the idea is shorts pay the most in short. It's funny to say that. Shorts pay in very, very short term bursts. The idea is to catch a short, cover, reshort, reshort the retest. That's usually how shorts go. You don't want to get caught on a squeeze because they happen really fast, right? So the idea is to always catch a short, cover quickly, and aim for much higher than you expect on a short. So the strategy changes, the desperation changes, right? So your approach to shorting a market is much different. And we haven't been in a bear market together for us to really discuss this, but I assure you, when we do get there, everything changes. Everything changes, and we're gonna have a lot of fun with that. So, but right now we're in a macro bullish uptrend. I see no reason whatsoever to start opening shorts. I'd rather wait for confirmation. I'd rather be wrong for 3-4% than to put it all at risk and get squeezed for 10, right? So let's be careful here. God damn, dude. ADA, man, this looks horrible. Short term looks horrible, guys. This looks like, oh man. You know, when I see this and like no bounce, but like guys, look, I'll give you an example. If you're opening shorts here, you're wrong. You're wrong. Even if it continues down, you're still wrong. You know, look how low we are compared to where our moving average is. You know, it's like you're wrong if you're shorting here. FOMO is emotions if you're shorting here. So, you know, what I could see right now is actually kind of like rounding out, then kind of like rejecting, and then going back down. And you would probably open a short here, get squeezed, close here, and watch it go back down, and then hate yourself. So, always tell yourself that, right? It's easy to look until you're actually in the trade and watching price go up and squeezing you, right? So, Invalid Snowman. Crazy name. I'm going to answer your question. How do you get confirmation that tells you it's the top or bottom? And it's by simple basic rules, right? So I'll give you an example. Let's go on a clean chart here. For me, what's a top is when we fail to reclaim our all-time high. And it's not going to be a failure this low, because if it was truly bearish, why would they be such in a hurry to short here, right? It would be more, let's bait as much retail as we can to buying in right here and then smack it back down. And then we have a confirmed double top, right? Or we have like a double top where, and what a double top is, you know, you have your all-time high and then a failure, which is a lower high, right? From your previous all-time high. And that to me would be a double top and like a sharp rejection downwards, not like a bleed out, not like a bleed out like this and then we start curling up and then we continue up again. No, it has to be we're gonna rally it up all the way here and then we're just gonna get hammered back down. And that's to me a double top, and that's me being bearish after that. So you could always just wait for confirmation. And for me, my confirmation is failure to reclaim all-time high and a sharp rejection from it, which means that people were just baiting you into buying, baiting you into buying, baiting into buying, and then trapping you. So there's a number of ways, and people have many, many, many indications. But for me, right now, nothing's bearish about this. We're just correcting, reaccumulating, and consolidating. Swallowtail, I feel like we've already been following exactly every post having rally. You know, it's a limited supply being cut in half with more demand as time goes on. So honestly, we're just following the same market structure as every other bullish cycle. So I think we're just following them exactly the same. It's just I feel like the realized percentage of gains is going to get less and less as we mature more and more into this market. Badger, when volatility goes up, it doesn't necessarily mean price is going up. It just means that sharp movement is coming, whether that's up or down. So it's not an indication that we're going up. It's an indication that a big move is gearing up or has geared up already. So when volatility dies down, that usually means we kind of just flatline a bit, and then volatility ramps up or ramps up in the opposite direction. We can only know based on we need time, right? We need time to see how the chart plays out. So we got that. Hold on. Someone told me to take a look at something here. I don't have broken English. I just mispronounced it, man. So I'm answering the question of Q Aliham regarding mindful and his plan. I mean, guys, these markets and this industry is only going to reward the people that are obsessed with it and put a lot of their time into it. I mean, obviously, if you have an internship and you can't be on the ball like we are, it's much harder to find opportunities, right? Like I said, you can't just come in blindly following shit. It's a game that requires your attention, and it's I like to think of it as like a really 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 needy girlfriend, you know, or like a really really needy pet. They just always need to be around you. You know, like you got to always be around your positions and your charts. Things can go wrong in a blink of an eye, and that split second costs you everything. So it's harder. It's much harder. If you cannot be at a screen all day, it's much harder to be good at this. You know, so don't put pressure on yourself. Don't give yourself that unnecessary stress. Look at what's changed. Before, you didn't have an internship and you were killing it. Now you have an internship and you're finding it much harder. So don't blame yourself. Your situation changed. Don't lose that confidence. Just know that your situation's changed. You know, you're spending less time into it, so less of a reward will come out of it. It's just it's a process, right? So I wouldn't blame yourself. I wouldn't hurt yourself over it. My tip to you would be: don't lose the mindset. Don't lose the grind. Don't give up on it, right? Because a lot of people they get hurt once, or things get busy and they're not making the same results they did, so they kind of just they brush it off and they move on to the next thing that interests them. So you got to just stick to it. That's my number one advice to you is just stick to it. You know, where life goes in phases, ups and downs. So am I bullish on alts even with all the double tops being printed? Long term I'm bullish. Long term I'm bullish. Short term it's very tough right now. It's very tough. I don't want to say anything. It's very tough. I need more data. I already showed 2017 all time high. I'm not going back. Shorting ADA from one. Yeah, 1 second, 1 second, sugar freak. I'll get to that. Oh my god, I'm really behind. God damn. Okay, 1 second. Kareem, do I believe crypto will be this profitable in the next few years? Absolutely. Absolutely. You're in a brand new market. And what I mean by brand new is in the year of markets, 10 years is nothing. 10 years is nothing. You're only starting to see the real buzz around it. And it's only going to grow. It's only going to grow and get more and more ferocious as time goes on. So less millionaires made overnight, if that's what you're asking. Like it's going to get more and more tough to make mass amounts of fortune, but you're definitely in the future. And you're definitely ahead of the rest of the world, right? I think what how many addresses are there? Like 100 million crypto addresses? Like that's nothing, dude. It's nothing. There's 7 billion people in this world. Some don't even have internet yet. So, you know, tell yourself, are you early or are you late? You're in a first if you're in a first world country, you're fucking early. Just tell yourself that. If this is truly the future of finance of the world, this how do you think people without internet even feel? They don't even know what this is. They don't even know what internet is. They just hear about it. Anyways, uh, yeah, I'm gonna do my indicators now. I said I would do it, so let's do it. So I'll run this by you guys. First and foremost, these colors that you're seeing, I'm gonna turn my chart naked here, so we can all see what we're looking at. So these are my chart colors. I do this to avoid the gambling tendencies that you get when you see red and green on the screen. Green and red entices me to feel like I need to make a play, just because these colors in our brains they tell us something, right? When we see green, we feel compelled to buy. When we see red, we feel like we need to make a decision. It's why when daily open comes and everything just flips to zero and turns instantly green, that people start market buying. It really is an illusion. So I moved to colors that are less flashy like that, right? I picked blue and orange because I feel like they're unique, and I used to have blue and gray, but like everybody took it, man, and like I didn't feel unique anymore. And like when I'm staring at a chart, I want to feel like I'm staring at my own idea, and I had blue and gray, and like everybody took it, man. And I'm not saying I'm the one that did it, but like literally everybody started using it, so I just decided to change it. But these are the raw natural colors. So blue would be green, orange would be red. For me, it's blue and orange, right? So let me get into it. But down here is a volume oscillator. So really, what this is it helps locate reversal patterns and hidden divergences with volume as an indication, right? So it's a paid indicator from In Silico. I never used it in my previous trade setups, but I find it's a tool that helps a lot. And I'm being genuine. I was never paid by them. I bought it myself, and I really do like it. And you know, people have been in this group for a while now. They've seen it, right? I never used to use these, and I decided to start using them permanently. So they actually do work for me, at least. They help me confirm my idea. So that's this indicator down here. If I turn on my trend heuristic, which is another piece from In Silico, it's pretty much a scalping tool. I find it works best on the 15-minute, and I'll tell you why. Um, except for recently, but let me just show you an example. So the way it works is we look to find bids under the trend, under the moving average. So the way I would typically use this is, man, because I'm not even on BTC, but let me show you. So for example, every time, for example, I would see on the 15-minute time frame that we would fall underneath my moving average. Well, that was a bid most of the time, right? Open up a bid, you catch this move, you know. And every time we touched this line or went beneath it, we kind of just rallied away from it, right? And if we go back and we could see it many times, that every time we fell underneath, it was kind of really a good place to buy. So really the way, actually, I'll go on a 4 hour just to show you. I mean, it respects really well, right? So this indicator is pretty much a moving average followed by, as you can see, my candle colors change because it indicates that, you know, it's bullish price action and not bearish price action, right? So the way this works is that if these candles flip red, that means that your next play should be to short the next touch of this line and to keep reshorting until it flips and acts as a support, which is what it just did, right? So why did these candles flip green? Is because it reclaimed the moving average, tried to fall below it, and bounced off it as a support this time. But as you can see, we're kind of just falling right back down underneath it. But really, the heuristic is just more for me to help find when's a good idea to buy in on a short time frame, if that makes sense. Yeah, of course you have to pay for this. Yeah, no, these are paid indicators, but I'll show you the free ones that I use and have been using for a long time. Once again, I use this one just because I feel like it helps a lot. It helps me determine if there's a chop or not that I can't see. So I'll just turn this off for now. Then I have my crayons, which is another indicator from In Silico. And these pretty much provide pivot lines. I'll give you an example, something less messy. Oh, look at that, spot on. Anyways, so pretty much crayons are these B signs, these lines, and these bullish signals here. So to summarize, these indicators work that whenever you see like these green U's, it's pretty much telling you that like we have like a bottom here, or that we're forming a bottom here, right? When you see the W, it's showing you that it's extremely weak, and you could see a plummeting happening in the short term. So when you see W's, it's showing you unnecessary weakness or unusual weakness for this particular pattern. The B's are showing you, you know, bearish strength. So every time you see this, the indicator is telling you there's bearish strength, right? And when you see a blue B, it means that there's a lot of bullish strength. So once again, this is more for large time frames. It's more of like a way to determine if we're being chopped or not. And when I'm seeing these colored candles and followed by a green U, followed by a green blue, a B blue, it's very indicative that we're just creating a bottom pattern here. And I'm telling you, it's gonna look something like this. I just I'm speculating, right? But that's what it's looking like, just based off the indicator. It's telling you pretty much that I don't know how much more they could sell in this area without testing a squeeze. So I'll do this one last time. And then finally, I use my pivot point standard. These things work beautifully if you can't already tell. They reset every day, so they play the levels that are available to you today with the highs and lows, right? So as you can see, they work very, very well. I'll give you some examples. You see, kind of just playing within the range. Um, yeah, and the way this works is this would be your resistance 1, resistance 2, I'm sorry, resistance 3, resistance 2, resistance 1. Pivot, meaning if we're trading above this, the price action is bullish. If we're trading below the pivot, the price action is bearish. So that's kind of another indicator that I know that, hey, as long as we're above this pivot line, we're technically trading bullish, right? And as we've been talking, we're already back at 48,500, right? So it's very interesting. Very interesting. This is tricky price action. Like, guys, I don't trade this. Like, I just don't. I just don't. This is too difficult to trade. You're gonna be too emotional during all these moves. I just don't want to trade this. I wouldn't, right? So they are like Fibonacci lines. So I'll show you the settings. I'll show you the settings. These are my settings. So it's a Fibonacci, no historical points, and it's automatic. It is a Fibonacci pivot, and it works. It works. When you're in price discovery, this is the best ratio. JP Morgan's a very, very good guess on who's buying here. It's a big entity. Whoever it is, it's a big entity. And we're gonna find out soon. Like we found out about Tesla. We said it, guys. For anybody that wasn't there, I told you guys on January 1st, Tesla's buying. It's very obvious Tesla's buying. Like we had our suspicions. We said it in the group. We said it. We've been calling it for so long. So I'm gonna say it again. I'm saying it's Twitter or Netflix. It's one of those two. You don't just start requesting you don't just start requesting debt swaps because you're not about to make a major purchase. Like you just don't. I'm sorry. Read through the lines. Don't listen to the fake bearish propaganda. Someone wants to buy your Bitcoin. That's why every time we hit a very, very key level, we just instantly bounce away from it. You know? Yeah, sure. This one right here. Pivot points standard. So look for this. ADA. So the reason why I wouldn't short this in particular is just because they baited everybody with the same sort of price action before just recovering. You want to wait for something to go like this and then fall over here, right? Because we look at the same way it rolled over. Look at the same way it rolled over. Look at the same way it's rolling over. You want it to roll over, reach this yellow line here, or reach the closest high and just sell off super hard again to show you that whatever's up here does not want to, you shall not pass. It's telling you that. And they're openly telling you this is your top. You know, they're going to bait you. They're going to bait you to buy all the way up. They're going to get people to buy all their sells here, and then they're just going to smack it down. That's how I know it would be a top. So for now, you're not in the position to be shorting here. Why would you? We just went down 25%. Why are you shorting after we just went down 25%? It could very well just continue down, but why? I'm asking you why. You know? I need to know why. You cannot just take a trade because I'll tell you what happens. Now you're going to think it always happens. And now you're always going to get lucky until, you get squeezed 10% in a 15-minute candle, and now you're liquidated, and now everybody sucks. And I'm never trading again. So be careful here, right? It's wait for confirmation. Wait for confirmation. Wait for price to reject here. And then if you want to open a short because you think, hey, You know, and if it does, and then if it does fake you out, well, you have a stop here, so you're good. You decided, hey, look, it was rolling over. I want to take a chance here. It's a good risk to reward. This is their previous high. Maybe we can fucking test a bit lower. I won't blame you for that. You're allowed to take that trade, but you can't take this trade going, well, look, it looks so bad. I don't care what it looks like. I care that we already made a 25% move down. Why would you think we'd go even lower without at least springing back up to test highs? And if we're bullish, we're just going to continue. But if we're not, we're just going to roll over and die. So that's my advice. That's what I'm trying to show you about. Why would you open a short there? You know, it's tempting. It looks like it's going to fall off a cliff, but don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. It's been selling off. You know, would I long here? I mean, if we're going to talk about all the best options were always below this moving average. So yeah, I would. I would take a long here. And what would be my invalidation? Well, anywhere below here, honestly, if we had to reach here without at least testing new highs, well, that's my invalidation. You know, but you know, it looks like we could just very well just at least bounce here and even go down here. But look, even if you decide to take a long here, you caught a 9% move. What more do you need? Caught a 9% move. So yeah, I would take a long. I would, but I'm not telling you to, but I would. I mean, if I really believed in this project and I wanted to get in desperately, yeah, this is the best chance I've had in the past 3 days. The price was higher than what it was the past 3 days. The price is lower than what it was the past 3 days. So now would be ideally that if you believed in this project and you were debating on buying here, why aren't you going to buy here now? You have your chance, right? You finally got your dip that you wanted. This is the market psychology that people don't get. Their brains are inverted when they see this. It's like, oh, up here I need to buy because it's just going to continue. But did you see all this? Why didn't you buy right here? Oh, because I wasn't sure. So why are you sure about shorting here? You know, now you finally got the entry that I told you to buy at. Why aren't you going to buy here now? You know, and that freaks me out because it's a switch in your brain for some reason. It happened in mine too. You have to learn it. You got to unlearn the fact that when price is down, it means short. It means buy. It means buy until you're wrong. And I'll give you an example. I say it all the time. I say it all the time to new listeners or people that don't know how I reason with markets. It's if you walk into your favorite store, right? Let's say you've been had your eyes on a Honda Civic. I'm just gonna say any random car, something that we can all relate to. A Honda Civic, right? On sale for $20,000. You were debating it for a long time. You were gonna go into the dealership and buy it, right? You walk into the same dealership on that same day, admitting that you were gonna buy a Honda Civic at $20,000. The dealer comes up to you and says, "Hey, it's now selling at 16,000. What are you going to do?" "Oh, no thanks. I'm not too sure anymore." And you walk out the door. Or you're going to jump in with both feet and be like, "Well, that's a perfect coincidence. I wanted it anyways at 20K. I'm getting a discount." So it tells you more about yourself than what you actually know. And if you're scared of buying this, it means you don't actually believe in the project because you're scared. For me, if I see Bitcoin go all the way down here and I said it, you could go look in my corner. It was like, "Oh, look, I'm buying here." No, I'm sorry. I'm very wrong here. Oh, I remember going, "Oh, guys, I'm buying right here at 49K." It was like right here. Then it went down even more. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to buy right here. And then it went down even more. And I didn't touch it. Then we came back up here and I'm like, "Oh, okay, I'm going to buy here too." Then it went down even more. And I'm like, you know what? I'm buying 43K. Because to me, this is bullish. And to me, oops. To me, it's so much better to buy down here than to buy up here because that leaves me too much risk. And if it continues to go lower and it finally starts to give me negative funding, it's maybe I could start building a leverage long because it's paying me to do this. So I just take it for what it is. Bitcoin's a bullish asset, and I'm gonna buy every time I see it has good value for what I'm buying it for. It's really, guys. It's really about turning your emotions off and just looking at it for what it is. It's if you want it. Oh, sorry, I got really ADD with the chat. Someone was using caps. Um, But yeah, that's really what it is, guys. It's about not being scared to buy when you see 30% off. A market needs to return to its mean. If it goes too much in one direction, the spring back is violent. You want to catch that spring. Even if it's going to be bearish for going for a bearish retest, you want to catch that spring. A market doesn't just decide where it's going to go randomly. It's an understanding of how a market works. Anyways, yeah, we're gonna end this here. It's already an hour and a half. Usually I stream much longer than this, but we're on a Thursday night here, and I just wanted to speak to the new members and to really um, reassure them and kind of let them know what we're more all about. And we're not this, you know, take our calls and STFU type thing. It's we want people to learn, we want people to understand what they're doing, and most of all, we want people to make money. And if you're just gonna blindly follow our calls, you're a liability to what we're doing here. And we'd be much like I let me know if you signed up just to blindly follow calls. Let me know. Let me know because you're in it for the wrong intentions. You're in it for a quick buck, and this is not a quick buck. It's easy. It's easy if you apply yourself. Nah, I don't want to play League. I'm too tired. No, it's really it's just reading the comments. Hold up. Ray, right now we're in a time where big institutions finally realize they fucked up and they need to get in without raising alarms. And how do they do this without raising alarms? They buy dips like this. They create dips like this. So what a coincidence, right? That when we dip 30% in the same day, everybody's panicking, everybody thinks they should sell, and then before you know it, in the blink of an eye, we're back to 50,000, 53,000. It's all by design. They know exactly what they're doing. You're playing algorithms right now, right? They know exactly how the liquidity works, and they're just dollar cost averaging in, meaning they're gonna turn off their buys when they've convinced enough people that it's going up until it fizzles out, causes another fall over, and then they're just going to turn on the buys again when you finally freak out and panic. You're playing a bot right now, right? And you just got to know how to ignore the chart and go do something else for a bit. You don't have to trade all the time. You don't. You don't. And Maka, this is a big world. You're in a big world, but there's a lot to learn, and there's a lot of profit to be made, and there's careers that are made out of this every single day. It's to the people that are serious. Be serious about it. Treat it like a job, and it becomes one. It's you know, it's yeah, it is what it is. I wouldn't say it's going to be like this for months, but you shouldn't worry about this. You shouldn't worry about this. If they're accumulating, you should be accumulating. It's like don't worry about the time frame. Look at where we're going. Look at the vision. Have vision. Have vision. See beyond the price that you're seeing today. Look and have vision of where this is going. The institutions are not buying so they can be like, oh, I'm going to sell at 60K. No, they're buying because they want to sell never. That's really what they're doing, guys. So don't be stressed about the time, guys. There's opportunities en masse. You're in a community of 2,000 plus members that are looking at this shit all day long. I trade as one of the many ways for a living, but if you're asking me if I could literally never work again and just trade, or I'll put it this way: if I if I if you're asking me if I never have to do anything ever again, the answer is yes. Assuming we are living the way I'm living now, meaning no Lambos, no bullshit, no flashy objects. I can do more than enough living on what I have now. With inflation, with everything, I'm set. but it's living beyond, like living below my means. It's not like it's not a thing to brag about. Like I'm not like this gajillionaire. I'm not a. I spend most of my time giving my money to people, like charities and shit, or looking for ways to help people. Like I don't, I'm not a materialistic guy. I don't give a fuck about your Givenchy and your Balenciaga sock shoes. Like I don't care. But if you show me a charitable donation that is helping out small local business, I'll make a big contribution. I think we can all help each other. So like like I'm not an Instagram influencer, so I don't give a shit about what other people think of me. I just do what I do, right? It's originally this whole crypto journey started as just me posting on Twitter, and it turned into, once again, like this thing. So I just want people to know that, like, I'm not this person that's flashy. I don't have anything to prove to anybody, and if I can help people, I'll do that, right? It costs nothing to be a good person, honestly. So, someone asked me where I'm from. I'm Canadian. I'm from the French, the French part of Canada. So, and no, designer doesn't mean anything. If anything, it just shows you what someone's really about, right? If pour vrai. Oui, je parle français. Mais c'est le français de québécois. C'est pas le français de France. Tu comprends? I'm recording it, so I'm gonna put it on YouTube because I know people are from Singapore, they're from India. We have all walks of life here, and I want everybody to be able to hear this one. I can't believe we have so many French people, man. Can't believe it. That's insane. I'll share my YouTube channel. I'm gonna upload it right away so you guys have a chance to see this. But honestly, guys, I try to do these streams once to twice a week on the weekends. That's usually the best time for me. I just, like I said, this one was an emergency red alert. We got a stream, new members. A lot of them are confused. I just wanted to solidify. I wanted to show you that we're here for you. Let us help you. And I'm gonna end this off on one thing because I wrote something earlier today where I said I want to hear from you guys. Message me. I want to hear how I can help you. What did you join here for? What could we do to make your experience better? And I want you to know that I got your messages. I'm going to get back to them, but I'm going to show you some transparency just so you guys don't get impatient with me. So just bear with me for a second, right? Full screen application. Oh damn. Okay, so you guys are just seeing like a bunch of. Do you guys even see anything right now? Hold on. Let me show you. Look, check this out, okay? Can you guys see my Discord right now? Okay, so just to show you guys that I got your messages and just check this out. I got your messages and I'll get back to you, I promise. But it's a lot, and there's way more that I already opened and didn't have a chance. But as you can see, 15 pending here and a lot. So I promise you guys, I'm gonna get back to you. Just give me a bit of time. I want to answer everybody with a thoughtful response. I don't want it to be generic. I really, really want to focus on how we can make you guys better, and just to share a bit of information with you guys. I'm gonna look to take on a group, and I mean a small group of maybe 5 to 10 people max that are serious about this, that really, really want to get better, that treat it like a real job and a real progress report, and I'm gonna take them under my wing, and we're gonna work very, very closely together. So I'm paying attention. There are people that have taken it really seriously in the past couple months. I'm still looking, and I'm gonna give everybody a fair chance. But really, what I'm looking for here is not how much profit you made, not how much you know about trading, but how much you're willing to try and learn, and how much you're willing to go above and beyond to make this happen. And It's not about how smart you are. It's not. It's I really am looking for specific character types that understand that there's always a way to get better and they can always be doing more. So if this is you, I'm paying attention. I'm looking, and I'll have more information on this soon enough. But it's something I'm working on. I'm also working on a one-time course, basically on my supply demand strategy. I want it to be a course. I'm still debating if it's going to be a free thing, but it's going to be like a one-time fee thing, just because there's going to be a lot of hours I'm putting into it. But yeah, I'm definitely working on an in detail guide on my strategy. Which, like I said, guys, I'm transparent. You guys can learn this from other people, but if you really wanted to learn it from me, I'm working on it. It's taking a lot of time because I want it to be pretty. But you guys know who I learn from and who I've always paid attention to. It's no secret. So um, if you ever wanted to know, just let me know. Sam, baby. Everybody knows who Sam is, and that guy's taught me so much. And I never paid $1 for his course or anything of the sort. I just watched videos on YouTube, and it just made more sense to me the more I applied myself. So I appreciate that. So yeah. I'm gonna type his name in the chat. Sam Sadin. You could watch him on YouTube. I wouldn't recommend joining his course. I don't see a reason to. I find the videos he already posted on no, not the founder of FTX. Definitely not that Krusty the Clown guy, bro. Sam Sadin is like a long time trader of like 20 plus years. He's been in supply demand strategist for a while. He's been on the Chicago trading floor, et cetera, et cetera, and he does a really good job at it. So yeah, like I said, him as a person, don't know too much about him, but I know his strategy and has taught me wonders, and it's the only one that made real sense to me. It's the only strategy that made sense to me from a logical perspective. So that's the guy I listen to. That's the guy I learned everything I know from. And yeah, like I said, don't know much about him as a person. Don't know anything about his past. All I know is those videos taught me everything, and I have him to thank because everything else was learned through speaking with others and experience. But he's the one that really allowed me to have my own strategy. So yeah, so there's that. I love it, Kareem. He's got a YouTube videos, and I'll say one thing, guys. Books are more for a mentality thing. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I know books are like a noble way of learning, but like when it comes to trading, and I'm gonna be honest with you, books are very good at teaching you stuff when it's not hands-on, like when it's not hands-on physical work in the sense that like trading, I feel you could learn so much more when you're seeing it happen on a screen, when someone's walking you through it. I find books are way too textbook unless you're learning about value investing or security analysis. And like I said, we have a roster of books that I could recommend to you guys if you want to get into valuating stocks and securities and bonds and dividends. If you're into that, then yes, there are a couple books that I think you should read. But if you're wanting to become a technical analyst or some sort of trader, the best material is online. I really do believe so. Video teaching is probably the best method to learn, because it has to be really visual. You could read all you want on charts. I just don't, personally, I don't think it's the best method. But when if we're talking about self help, lifestyle changes, studies, books are your go to. So yeah, I have a list of books. I have a ton of them. And I know a lot can vouch that they've read them and their life has changed, and for positives, right? Like books are more about habits, and they help you develop a good habit. They help you develop patience. I tell a lot of people to start reading because it teaches them patience. It's hard to sit through a 2 hour session of reading. If you could do that, you could wait out a market no problem. So find ways to fill your time with learning and getting better. And I think that's the first piece of advice I will say and recommend to you as advice is to make the most use of your time as possible. You know. Yeah. Riven or Riven. I'm gonna say Riven because it sounds cooler. Riven. Honestly, man, audiobooks are good, but like I said, if it's regarding trading, you want to see it. You want to see what you're looking at, right? And I feel like when someone's walking you through and going like, oh, do you see sending triangle, trend line, squiggly 1 2 3? It's much better than just reading diagram 2.1 and then referring to diagram 2.1b and then seeing what happens on diagram 2.1c. It confuses you, and it's not the best way of learning. But yeah, so we're gonna end this here, guys. I'm gonna answer one more because I have to make this clear. Um, Feared one. It's not that I'm not interested in altcoins. It's just if I'm like I've made like I'm in positions already that are from so low. I don't want to expose myself to more risk, if that makes sense. Like we've been in this run for a while, so I don't feel like I'm obliged to take a position up here. I've already taken positions, right? So, if you joined in later, I mean, you missed out on a great run. But like now, I need more confirmation to confidently keep adding here. So that's my position on altcoins. I'm not necessarily bearish. I'm just cautious, bullishly cautious, if that makes sense. Now's not the time for me to open leverage longs or buying spot in mass amounts. I think we could see a better opportunity. Um, but yeah, we're gonna end this here, guys. This is the highest viewer count we've ever had. We started off with about like 360. Now we're at about 150. Last time that was my norm. 150 died down to around 90. So this is literally the best stream we've had so far, and I hope to see you guys next time because we're gonna be covering a lot, and I'm not gonna be easy on any of you guys, right? So be ready, because I'm gonna tell you guys how it is. If I feel like you guys are fucking up, I'm gonna let you guys know right away. So. Yeah, my DMs are open, as you can clearly see. If there's ever anything you guys need, or if there's anything you guys are struggling with, give me some time, but I promise I'll get back to you. And with that being said, this video will be online. Give it a couple hours. Everybody will be able to watch it again. So, yeah. With that being said, guys, peace out.